Hey Lawrence, what's up? So I wanted to tell you about the work I was doing in Rhode Island last week because it was like crazy fun. No, really, just, I don't know, it was cool and because reasons, and kind of makes me think about like the future of my career, which I haven't really talked about on YouTube, but I'll probably get to later. One thing that was exciting, like if I tell you boring things, I have to preface it with saying, "This is so exciting." That way, like, you think there's a reason for me telling you. And there's not. So yeah, it was just this conference thing for lottery company executives. I don't know, it was people that worked for lottery companies or something. It was kind of ridiculous. Just like loads of rich people. So whenever now I like hear about a rich person, I'm like, I bet they were at this lottery convention, because the guy was just like, one of the guys that was speaking was like, oh, I just had so much money, I just don't know what to do with it, blah blah blah, so I gave it to the government. Anyways, so there's like truss and moving lights and stuff, and there's like a fiber drape. It was like a star drop, you know, but it was like fiber optic, so it was like colorful and stuff, and it was awesome. So at like the end of this conference, I had to fold up the fiber drape. The company is kind of particular about how you fold it, so people's be like, oh, Leanne unfolded it, so she'll be in charge of folding it. Okay, no big deal. I'm like, this is great, because I really hate like being in charge of people, but I want to get better at leading a group in a project. So I'm like, cool, group project here. So we untie the drop. It's in 3 different panels. So I like drag one panel over, and I have like 1.5 people helping me. And like we get it spread out, and I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a Z fold. And the other guy's like, okay, yeah, I've done this before. Yeah, cool. I'm like, all right, so we leave this corner here, and he's across at the other corner. And I'm like, we're going to pull this side and put it on top. And he's like picking up his corner. He's like, yeah, we're gonna fold it. And I'm like, no. Z fold. Z fold. So he gets the point. We hold one corner on the floor, pull the drop, and fold it on top. And then you just keep doing that. And then fold one side, my side I guess, up to his side, and then fold it a couple more times. Done. And then after that, I'm like, what the heck happened to the other 2 panels? Where did they go? Like, what? And I noticed that across the room, there's like 17 other people over there who could have been helping me, but instead, they're over on the other side of the room, folding the others' panels the wrong way. Okay. Now I have a pal who knows how they're folded, so he and I lead the group in stretching out another drop and showing people how to fold it in a Z fold. And then I'm like, sorry guys, but the other one, you have to redo it. Sorry. And I kind of get them started on that, and I bring the cases over that the drops go into, and they got this down, so I walk away from that. The end. Another thing that happened, I had been admiring the scissor lift because it was wonderful, and because the rigger has to go up in it really high and rig, and I'm like looking up at this, and I'm like, I wish I could do that. Like, I wish I was brave enough for that. That's crazy. So I just try to make a habit of like always complimenting the upriggers. Is that what they're called? Because like I know the downrigger is like who's on ground level and like, you know, attaches things to the rope, whatever the uprigger needs. Is it an uprigger? I don't know. Anyways, I always try to compliment the uprigger in case, you know, he has any deep-rooted daddy issues that caused him to choose this career that is so dangerous and impressive. So I say to this guy, I'm like, wow, that's really high. I can't imagine going up that high in that scissor lift. And he says to me, that's not even high. In the other room, I had to climb the steel, and that was 68 feet in the air. Blah, blah, blah. And I can't imagine doing that either. The scissor lift was really cool, but it's still way scary. Imagine not having the scissor lift and just freaking climbing the ceiling to rig. Yeah. Baby steps. I'm the type of person that, like, I have to warm up to an idea, but I can eventually be okay with something that I was formerly not okay with. An example of that would be avocados. Avocados are so good for you, but I don't really like them, or I didn't at first, and now I'm forcing myself to like them, and it's going great. So I decided with this heights fear that's going on, that I could probably get myself used to heights. So one of the things that I did while I was in Rhode Island was when we went on the gigantic freight elevator thing to bring all the equipment down to the loading dock area to load it out, one of the things I did was I like looked out the crack in the door and I got to see what was like outside of the elevator. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I could see way down and I was like, what? Okay, that did nothing really for my fear of heights, but I just thought it was kind of cool. So we were riding the elevator and then we find ourselves, this is late at night, mind you. This is like midnight, 12:30 perhaps. So we're riding the elevator to the loading dock area, but then the doors open and it's like a million doors. This elevator is like ridiculously amazing. So like the 17 doors open and then we're like, where are we? What happened? Is this real life? We were like at some other floor that I've never seen in my life. And it's 12:30 and we're like, ah. Not really. So I proceeded to close the doors and we rode up to the correct level. We were on like level 4 and I went down to 1 instead of 2. So, you know, we had to figure it out. All good. That was like a super fun time, really. And somewhere along these lines, I don't even think it was loadout night. It was another night that I was like super tired that, you know, my coworker with me that night said, but Leanne, if someone paid you $1 million, would you ever not do this? And to that I say, shut up. Because once I watched that video again, I was like, what am I thinking? If someone paid me, I could not do that. I could stop. But that's kind of a different story. And I'm nearing the end of my book that I was talking about last time, and when I finish that, I will tell you more on that subject, and it will be so ridiculously exciting. So is it okay if my video contains inside jokes that are between me and somebody that's not you? Or is that not allowed? Something about pandas?